We are with James Bowers with Bowers Diesel and Automotive, and he's a new business here in town, and that's one of the reasons we're here is because we want to introduce him to the community, and we want you to know who he is. If you own a diesel automobile or a diesel vehicle of any kind or anything that's not diesel, if you own something with a motor that's got wheels on it that transports you around, then James is probably going to be the one you're going to want to talk to eventually. So, James, we're sitting here in your new shop, and thanks for hanging out with us for a little while today.
Just new in the area, not in McMinnville. I've been here since 2008. My wife's been here. She was a graduate of McMinnville High School, so I'm not necessarily new to the community. I've been here for a while, just been working out of the community, and it's nice to finally be able to start a shop in McMinnville and contribute and give back to this wonderful, wonderful city.
Tell us a little bit about what inspired your passion for the automotive business.
Ever since I was a little kid, I cannot really remember when it started. I just remember playing with Hot Wheels, and in the early 80s I just fell in love. Monster trucks had just came out and they were my thing. It was what I wanted to be. Then Transformers and just anything having to do with mechanical or automotive. I got into BMX racing. The speed bug was in me, and from there I was very fortunate that from a very early age, I knew I liked cars. I knew I liked big engines, loud noises. I just enjoyed that atmosphere, being around it. As I got older, got into high school, I was very fortunate. There were still automotive classes at high school, VOTEC classes. And I ran into, I believe his name, auto shop teacher, Denny Aiken, Mr. Aiken. And it was at Clear Lake High School in California. And he was just a old hot rodder. And I fell in love with the way he taught class, and just on top of being already interested, it gave me the passion, like, I really want to do this. And it didn't matter whether it was fixing somebody's, hot rod or if it was fixing their regular normal car. Just the idea and understanding of being able to do it was what intrigued me. And from a very early age, I was very fortunate in that I found what I loved to do, and that was fixing and repairing vehicles. So, as I got into high school, it just started clicking, and I got enrolled in a vocational school called Universal Technical Institute down in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, and went there for a year, graduated from there with an associate's degree in automotive technology. Came up to Portland because my parents had moved to Vancouver, Washington, and I became Ford certified through the UTI program. And doing that, it gave me an in to most Ford dealerships. So I found a wonderful dealership up in North Portland called Northside Ford. And I go in for my first interview. Didn't realize that they were a truck shop, a light-duty truck shop, F-250s, F-150s, things like that. And speaking with the service manager, and he goes, well, your grades and everything look good. You look like you kind of have an idea what you want to do. Do you know anything about diesel trucks? I said, I know they have glow plugs. And he says, well, you won't be able to say that after you start working here. So from there, I worked there for about 10 years. Pretty much the rest is history. I had worked there for 10 years and then met my wife in 2008. We had a very quick courtship and got married in 2009, and then went to work for a wonderful independent dealership here in McMinnville, Mac Auto Pros. And I worked there for about a year. Al was really good to me, real great guy to work for. Just unfortunately, business had slowed down, and the way our business pays mechanics a lot of times is on a flat rate system. So if there's no work, you're not getting paid. And unfortunately, it slowed down, so I had to find something else. And I found a wonderful construction company over in Woodburn called Kerr Contractors. That was an experience. Paid real well, but they were going to get their money's worth, and they made sure of it. And I worked there for about a year. I found the best company I ever worked for was Electronic Injection Services in Sherwood. A lot of diesel guys here in McMinnville know of them because they took their trucks there. John at Electronic Injection was a great boss, great owner, and took very good care of us. And I always told him, I said, John, you're the best boss ever, but if I ever have the opportunity, if I can't buy EIS from you or something like that, then the only way I'm going to leave is if I find something of my own. And fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know yet, but I was able to start Bowers Diesel and Auto Repair August 1st of 2018. And so I'm giving her a go. I think I've had enough experience in this industry from automotive side to diesel side of things that I think I can give it a go. And hopefully I can provide a good customer service and a good product to my customers that I can hopefully strive in this industry. Again, it all comes back to me as far as it's fun for me to come to work. I don't call work work. I just go to the shop. And that's a nice thing. With all the new technologies and everything coming out, you have to be willing to expand. You just can't pigeonhole yourself into just doing diesel work. And so, if there comes a time maybe that the diesel work starts taking over the business and there's just so much of that, maybe I'll start turning away the gas work. But as of right now, I'm doing everything because people need their stuff fixed at a reasonable cost and a fair price, and not always nickel and dime like, hey, you need to fix this right now. I've had people come in and talk to me and, hey, I've got this oil leak, and I've actually not charged them anything and said, hey, your oil leak's gonna be okay. You need tires. Don't spend your money with me. You need to go find a place to get tires before you worry about fixing this oil leak.
Where do you see the future of the shop going at this point?
At this point right now, I'm really looking to get my foothold into the industry. Well, people know where I'm at. My biggest downfall right now is my location. It's a very tough area to find, but when guys find it, it used to be Gary's Automotive. And so once I start kind of getting that name transfer going, people generally know where I'm at. So there's going to be some major tool purchases coming up. Really looking to expand into maybe doing tires and alignments in the future.
If someone were to ask you, why Bowers Diesel and Automotive? What is going to separate you from everyone else?
There's plenty of shops in McMinnville that do great work. There's no doubt about it. I've worked for one of them. For me and Bowers Diesel, I want to provide customers with a feeling that they can trust me. Like, I'm not trying to get one over on them. I want them to feel like if I come in and say to James, hey, I've got this problem going on, can you explain it to me? That they feel confident that I'm not going to try and baffle them. The old adage, baffle them with BS. And I'm not interested in taking people's money. If they want their vehicle fixed and they want it fixed properly, I'm going to tell them how to fix it properly. And if they proceed with it, I'm going to fix it properly. About the only things that I do not fudge on or budge on is safety, brakes, and steering. That is not an option for me. I'm going to tell you what you need to do, and this is how to fix it. And if people want to skimp on it, I won't do the work because I'm not going to put lives at risk for saving money. It's a no-win situation.
I think people come with kind of a guarded attitude of, okay, well, what are they going to try to sell me? What are they going to try to talk me out of? What are they going to try to, what are they going to try to pull over on me, And it's unfortunate because there are so many good quality shops that are honest and ethical and open and like yourself. But people, I think, to some degree still come with this little bit of a guardedness.
The people coming in with check engine lights on, hey, can you just scan it for me and stuff like that? A lot of shops will just arbitrarily charge people for that. And for me, it doesn't make sense. If I start nickel and diming everybody, it's a no-win. It's a zero-sum game because eventually people are like, well, every time I go in there, it's $50. And I don't want people to believe that. I want people to say, hey, I can go to Bowers Diesel. He can take a quick peek at it. And if he thinks it's something major, we can get it taken care of, or if it's nothing. And they can have that faith in me.
Talk about, as it relates to business, in order to be successful in business, there has to be discipline.
I imagine you're talking about my martial arts background. My discipline, I think, stems from something deeper than that, and it comes from my parents. They were very almost hard on me about things, but the first thing in life was always be responsible for your actions. Be responsible for the things that you're going to do. If you want something done, you need to go get it and do it yourself. And I took that through life and into my martial arts career. Started mixed martial arts, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in 2003. And from there, I took it to amateur mixed martial arts championship at 185 pounds in Portland, FCFF, Full Contact Fighting Federation. Currently, gosh, it's been so long. I actually at one point had a martial arts school here in McMinnville called All Heart MMA, and I ran that for a number of years as well. Actually had a couple of champions, amateur mixed martial arts champions come from there as well. Currently, I'm training with a small gym here in McMinnville called Impact Jiu-Jitsu, and currently a purple belt under John Goforth. But the martial arts for me is, everybody says family and kids and everything comes first, and I absolutely agree with that. But as an individual, for me, it's a big toss-up between martial arts and cars. Being able to compete in jiu-jitsu tournaments, to be able to go out and, it sounds barbaric, but it's really a great discipline to be able to get into a cage and fight with a guy, and just to see who's better that day. A lot of people make it out to be a blood sport, and it's really not, because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, me and that gentleman would get up, shake hands, and we could be training together the next week. And it's just to make each other better. But that discipline in that is for me, it comes with the idea that you're always going to be learning. The moment you stop learning is the moment you start dying. And I'm a firm believer in that. I don't ever want to pigeonhole myself into specific ideas without ever giving the thought of, well, maybe there's something different out there that makes more sense, And I think in our society these days, people get these ideas like this is right and you're wrong and that's that. And nobody's opening to say, well, step back. I'm going to question myself here. I'm going to look at your side of things. And I'm going to say, well, you know what? Maybe you got a good point. Or nope, I'm still going to stick with my side, and here's why. Because it has to be a swinging door both ways. But, and as far as discipline goes, I can sum it up to this. People go, well, I need motivation. Well, I'm going to be the first person to tell you, motivation doesn't get things done. Discipline gets things done. And you got to be able to get up at 6 in the morning every day and say, I got to get to work. I've got these things I need to get done. Whether you're sick, not feeling well, whatever. And it's just the idea that I've got responsibilities. I've got things that I want to do. Responsibilities to myself, to my children, to my wife, and to the responsibilities to the dreams and goals that I have. Because without that, we're just sitting here being idle. And I'm not an idle person. I can't do that. And if I'm not doing something, if I'm not trying to accomplish something, I'm looking for something to start new. So that's where the discipline comes in. And I should just get it plastered on the wall. Discipline gets things done, not motivation. So.
I do want to talk about your love for cars, come back to that just for a second, because you obviously are a car guy, and there's got to be a few cars in your life. Cars are kind of like, beautiful women to a guy, I think, to many guys. It's like there's those sweethearts that you just always have had an endearing relationship with, and I'm sure there's a few of those cars in your history. Tell us a little bit about that.
So there was a car I purchased right when I got out of UTI, and I love Chevelles, and 68 through 72 Chevelles, and I found a 69 Chevelle, and I took this car. It was just basically a body, and the frame was bent, and anyway, long story short, I took 3 cars and made this one car. And I had the car. I got it when I was 19, and when I was 26, I wound up selling it because I just was burnt out on it, and I never got it running and never got it on the road. And to this day, I am still kicking myself for letting that car go. But yeah, there's a couple of them out there. But as far as dream cars, if I had to have. There's the 69 Dodge Charger, the old General Lee, 57 Chevy Bel Air. Then from being a 5-year-old kid, I would love to have a monster truck, and I mean a real monster truck, the ones that are on TV. I can have a big F-350, but I want the one that is at the Sublimity Harvest Fest. That's what does it for me.
So if you come by the shop and you see a monster truck in the shop one of these days, you'll know that James made his goal and got his dream truck. And I wish you the very, very best in your new business. I know you're already doing really well. And I would encourage all of our listeners, if you have any kind of automotive needs, if you have any kind of truck and diesel needs, please give James a call and let him know what your problem is and give him an opportunity to do some business with you. I think you'll be very, very glad you did. Tell us the location. I know earlier you said it's pretty hard to find, but an address, phone number, and the best way to reach you.
So we are located at 2920 Northeast Lafayette Avenue. We're back in the back here, right across from S&W Electric. And S&W Electric, I think, has been here for 20 plus years. We're in the old Gary's Automotive building. The best way to get a hold of me is going to be 503-472-1082. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. There are a couple times that the shop will be closed just simply for personal needs. I'm doing a business class, so at least once a month the shop will be closed till 1. So there are a couple of instances where the shop may be closed during those hours, but generally I will post something or try and not schedule any work during those times.
James, thanks again for your time, and I appreciate knowing you and your lovely wife and your family, and the best to you.